Makes more sense if you just try to kite back, because Lilia kiting backwards does a lot of damage just due to the kit, right? The glooms can just be popped backwards, moving on the back foot. So that is something that makes a lot of sense going up against a Kadita, going up against a Hilda and a Fredrin.
Uh-oh, you can see the XP lane here. Mira's gonna be caught. That's a 3-man gank up in the XP lane. And this is the power that you have with the Lilia in the mid lane, that constant shove. And also, the positioning that they had, forcing Zero Esports Gaming, Hilda to actually stay in the bottom side. P now has the retribution, will be able to secure it. I think here, as Mirai is going to be able to push in some more pressure into the enemy jungle. Peen's looking for some more, but Keishi with the rotation basically stopping Peen's in her tracks. Rosemary though, rotating again. Mirai going to be caught, has the Breath of the Ocean, knocks Rosemary back up here with a lot of damage placed on. That's the Tempest of Blades as well. Mira's caught low, has the stun to stop the momentum, but that's Amore dishing out the damage. Oh my goodness, Ayanami still able to escape for a bit with the Furious Dive, but will not be able to survive in the long run. It's Zero Esports equalizing in kills, and somehow Shinoa is able to win the lane against her counter.
Wow, I mean, a lot of things are just going on right now, but Zero Esports, I think they were just brute forcing that play on the top side. Initially, Smart Omega Empress were able to get an advantage, but they used both their Petrifies there, and I think that was a big part of how they were able to just lock down the first pickoff for so long. Afterwards though, the longer the fight goes, you saw that Rosemary was able to tank so much damage, and this is why it's just so oppressive to deal with a Hilda in this early game. But look at that play!
Mirai with a 2-man Petrify and the Breath of the Ocean. It's going to be Zero Esports here who are on their backs. It's going to be Rosemary who falls down to the hands of Ayanami. And out of nowhere, it's a 3 for 0. Smart Omega Empress with the turtle take here, proper setup. And again, I need to talk about this, Rashi. I need to mention it. Papao went for Flicker. That's the reason she's losing in lane. You cannot out-damage the 1-1. You need to outmaneuver her first ability with the sprint usually. And without the sprint, sure, you're a bit more safe to these, like, to the dive heroes, but in lane, not a fan.
Let's take a look at the replay for that fight, and this is that insane play. The Petrify into the rough waves. That is Mirai using the Petrify off cooldown, perfectly timed, and afterwards, it's only a matter of time. They chase down Rosemary, who cannot survive against all 5 members, and now the tides are swinging in favor of Smart Omega Empress. And that's not a good thing, because Zero Esports Gaming, you can take a look at their composition. They definitely want this Hilda to be a lot more of a nuisance in the early game. And if they don't really recover from that play, it's going to be very difficult for the Hilda to move that freely again.
Man, again, right, the mid control from Smart Omega, despite Zero Esports rotating their jungler over. Oh my goodness! Woo! Papao gonna be caught, doesn't have the flicker, it's out of cooldown just right now. But now the crossbow tang is ready. Shinoa just waiting on that. Rosemary sprinting out to safety, but it's the 6th kill of the game for Smart Omega Empress, and it's on to the hands of Mirai, who's right now snowballing out of control.
Papao is not having a good time at all, man. It's a Erythel is a very mobile marksman, but against a Ling, Yutsong, as well as a Kadira, that's just way too much. And look at Rosemary trying to make sure that she pressures away the members of Omega Smart, but might be countered instead.
Yeah, the Breath of the Ocean finds its mark. Rosemary going to be slain here by Keishi on a Tempest of Furious Dive, actually poking Zero Esports Gaming's members down quite a bit.
Later on, I guess they'll have a bit more coverage when they use Mira on that on the Ruby as a bit of a crowd control source. But even then, it's going to be so difficult because there's a lot of unpredictable dives coming in from Smart Omega, and they can come in from so many different directions. The omnidirectional team fight, as we mentioned. So right now, they have to try and salvage one of the lanes for sure, either the top, the EXP lane, or the gold lane.
No, Yanami's not going to fall here. Full stacks on the passive now, dodging away from the Appraiser's wrath, just outclassing Zero Esports Gaming like it's nothing. Again here, onto Mira under the turret, dishing the damage out, getting the passive as well, as that's the turtle. On the other side, targeted down by Smart Omega Empress. Ray gonna be caught in the real world inflation. Doesn't have the rough waves, gonna be slain here by Ecstatic, who's still there, and that's a steal from Peen. Shinoa looking for 2 more weakness points. Doesn't have the Inspire just yet, but will be able to find the crossbow tank translated over to Ecstatic as Keishi picks that kill up.
And it's not over just yet. Both teams are going at it. Rosemary is the target being chased by Ayanami, but it seems like it's going to be countered instead. The Black Dragon form is being used as Papao has arrived, but just way too late. The action is over.
Man, again, not a fan of the sprint on the Irithel here, Arashimira. Oh, unfortunately, missing out on that I'm Offended. Not going to be able to find Ayanami. He has full stacks again. This Yuzong is just such a menace. And guess who else is a menace? Mireille zoning Rosemary away. Keishi is there too. They're looking for a sandwich play. A flicker gets popped in by Papao, but Keishi's right there in the back. Papao with no flicker. Mireille with a Petrify. No, he doesn't go for the Petrify. He doesn't need to. Rosemary gets a pick off, but it's only onto the roamer. And just like that, it's Smart Omega getting in, getting a few kills, and getting out.
Zero Esports Gaming right now has essentially 4 losing lanes. If you think about it, right? The jungle isn't really doing that hot. Keishi is on a roll right here. Ayanami is just dominating on this Yuzong. And on the gold lane, Shinoa is still winning as well. So without any winning lane to make to use for a basis to start making plays, this is a tough situation for Zero Esports Gaming to be in. They have to rely on Rosemary on the Hilda. But even then, at this point, Hilda can't set up for your team. She's very independent in pressuring and shutting down one member from your opposing team, but it's not enough.
Not even gonna pop the crossbow attack, Arashi. That's how ahead Smart Omega Empress are. Shinoa's 2-0-3 up against the lane counter, right? You pick up the Irithel. The only reason you pick up the Irithel here, obviously, okay, mobility, but it's to really shut down Shinoa in the gold lane. But you're not a counter if you bring sprint here. Papao still, again, trying to clear out the waves here, but Ayanami, proper weak side, has the rotation as well from Mirai and Keishi to lock their movements down. Jumps in with the Defiant Blade onto Papao. No flicker on Papao, but it's a win of nature baited out, and that's worth it for them. Real world inflation popped in as well, but Mirai gets out with the Odyssey. It's Oddity. And Shinoa's here, man. She's looking for some weakness points, but she will not be able to find every single one just yet. Oh my god, Rosemary still kiting away, still running away, but you can't dodge basic attacks.
Shinoa just slowly but surely runs down Rosemary on the Hilda, and now with the numbers advantage, they're going to go for more. Turrets has been taken, all the tier 1s are gone, and they just go straight into the jungle, ensuring that they just constrict around Zero Esports Gaming and just take away all the gold income. And now the Lord has spawned as well, so more and more tools available for Omega Smart. And this is, I guess, what the answer to our questions, right? Who is going to play more defensively? It was supposed to be Smart Omega, but now they're the ones pedal to the metal.
Oh man, again, it's the real world inflation popped in. Mira with the I'm Offended, unfortunately, again, not able to connect. You can see that the pressure is getting to them, man. Zero Esports Gaming had such a phenomenal performance against Burmese Ghouls, but here... Oh wow, good pickoff there by Ecstatic, still killing spree. And I guess that's the glimpse of brilliance from Zero Esports Gaming. It's still Ecstatic with a solid KDA, 3-0-0, despite her team being so far behind. She's the shining light right now. If Zero Esports want to win, they need to play around Ecstatic.
The beacon of hope, as we said. But of course, later on, there's going to be a Black Dragon form and a Kadita just hunting for her as well. So there's no real easy solution for them right now. But they just try to weather the storm. But look at Mira, solo killed by Shinoa in the bottom side, 1v1. And even on the other side, they're just winning all across the map.
This Hilda pick, unfortunate, super unfortunate that they did not ban the Lilia. They picked up the Eve so early. The Lilia wasn't picked in the first phase. That was the moment for them to really just start to, punish Smart Omega for not picking it. But because they let it open, the Lilia was able to outshove the Eve, and this Hilda lost every single, she lost her power in the early game, basically, with more members from Smart Omega who can really just rotate and help in the jungle. The Sling is never in any trouble, even in the early stage. And you can see just a snowball going crazy. It's a 10,000 gold lead in the 10th minute of the game.
And it's unfortunate that they're only winning lane, right? The gold lane also did not pay out. So they had no lanes to try and make plays with, so the Hilda is just stuck alone every single time. So Smart Omega had no issue just dealing with a lone Hilda without any backup. I think this is the macro gameplay we've been talking about and the wave control, but look at that.
Oh, Ayanami gonna be taunted up. Oh my god, he still doesn't find anything there. It's an outplay by Keishi, who finds the mega kill. And it's a double under the base turret for Keishi. Styling on Zero Esports Gaming. Keishi and Ayanami. Item builds. Arashi, it's time to check out the items.
Only a genius one, so Qualcomm doesn't have a genius one for Mirai on the Kadita, but that's more than enough to try and burst down the backline of Zero Esports Gaming. And if they itemize against that, Keishi and Ayanami are just gonna go ham in that backline. So there's no easy solution. There's a good mix of damage, a good mix of DPS and burst coming in from Smart Omega.
Oh
and
no, that's a crossbow tang. Ready, popped in, translated over. Ecstatic needs to flicker out. Mira is so low. And just like that, Arashi, it feels like Zero's Esports can't even come back from this.
So that's a lot of damage, and it's also DPS, and look at that, that's a pickup onto Papao, and that will be no gold, no marksman, no gold laner for this base defense, and Smart Omega. They're just waiting for the right time. They're not rushing anything, and look at this discipline, man. They're just still having their eyes on the objective and rotating very efficiently. Zero Esports is just completely lost.
Oh, that was brilliant there. You see the timing as to when they took the Lord. They waited a bit so that they don't need to rush here. They could use just the normal minions first. And it's going to be spawning. The Lord is going to be spawning in the 40th second of the game because of how they actually did it. They slayed the Lord in the 11th second. Shinoa now getting all the weakest points except for one. Mira trying to punish but will not be able to find it. Meanwhile, Peen falls in the back. Ayanami is still alive. Oh my goodness.
Way.
Smart Omega Empress. You think they overextended. You think they made a mistake, but it was all calculated.
It's just unfortunate. Smart Omega Empress are going very aggressively, and in a way, to a degree, you can say that they're overextending, but Zero Esports Gaming are so behind, they do not have the resources required to try and capitalize and punish these mistakes. And now with the Lord marching down the mid lane, Shinoa with a Feather of Heaven actually.
Whoa.
What is going on?
A bit of disrespect, I believe, there. Mira gonna be taken low. That's the glowing wand burning her down. The real world relation popped into the back line, but it's gonna be the rough waves taking Papao out. And just like that, Ecstatic will fall for the first time in the game. And that's Smart Omega, who are going to be able to top the group for now. 2-0 on the first day of MWI.